Okay, so good morning. I am Ashlyn from Booty Fit, and Joe, thank you for joining us this morning. Obviously, you're here to talk about our 21-day challenge, okay?
Yep.
But I want to kick off by saying, before you joined, what was going on for you?
Okay, so back last summer, I was, well, all throughout lockdown, I was having quite a lot of health issues, just generally feeling sort of general fatigue, had lots of blood tests, had lots of sort of tummy symptoms, had every test that could be done, and nothing sinister ever showed up. And eventually that led to a diagnosis of fibromyalgia and mild chronic fatigue, and also quite severe IBS. So I had joined the running program back in last February, March time, did the free course in March and joined up in April, and sort of noticed that by the summer things were really going downhill. I didn't have the energy, I didn't have the inclination. I just, even though I'd loved the 5-day challenge and the 12-week course, I was like falling back out of love with running again, just feeling that I couldn't motivate myself. And I think last August time, I finally had a phone call from the GP diagnosing those 3 conditions, and everything just went. I was getting into like a really deep depression. I just couldn't be bothered, almost quit with the running group. And then I think September, we joined the Back to Math challenge and got put in a team with some people that I've stayed in touch with. And I think really because of them, that motivated me to keep going. But when they said that they, lots of people in the group said that they were going to give the January 21-day challenge a go, and I was thinking, what have I got to lose? I knew I didn't need to lose weight, but I knew I needed to feel better. And obviously, being a part of the Booty Fit family, I'd seen all your marketing about how much the non-scale victory results that people getting from doing the challenge. And I thought, there's nothing to lose. I'm feeling rubbish. I've spent all of December with my hand in the chocolates and the mince pies. So let's give it a go.
Okay, because let's get it right. Even before you joined the 21-day challenge, you're tiny, you're slim, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm a healthy weight, yeah.
Yeah, okay. And there's, you know what, you can smile when you say that, because I don't think we're naturally healthy weights. We're normally a healthy weight because of things that we've done right, okay? So you joined the program not because you wanted to lose weight, but you wanted to feel better.
Yeah.
And I'm digressing now, because obviously I hear of a percentage of people getting fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue. What causes that?
Don't really know. I think the thing with fibromyalgia is it's something that's diagnosed by exclusion. So they rule out everything else before they give you that diagnosis. I don't think it's particularly well understood. I think for me, probably it was, I'm only guessing because I don't know, the research isn't really there, but I think it was a reaction to stress over lockdown, because I work for quite a small business. Lots of people were furloughed. I wasn't furloughed. So I'm homeschooling my children. I'm trying to get that done in the morning. I'm then working from kind of 12 till 8. When things started opening back up again, I had to turn around a 6-month project in about 8 weeks. And I think it was kind of getting into that adrenal fatigue thing. I think that probably triggered that response in my body. Also, I've got 3 other autoimmune conditions, so I do have a tendency towards them. And I think it was just like kind of that perfect storm of symptoms that left me really very, very unwell at the time.
Okay, and that was my assumption. I thought it was lots of things are caused by stress, aren't they? Okay, so you were not in a good place, right?
No,
joining the 21-day program, you did it. What did you want to get out of it, actually?
Well, I think over lockdown we all put on. I am a healthy weight, and I always have been a healthy weight. But I think over lockdown we all put on that half stone or stone that we'd really rather shift. And even if you are a healthy weight, if you're slightly higher in that healthy weight range than you have been, then you want to lose that, don't you? So I didn't mind if I lost a few pounds, but I just wanted to feel better. I remember really clearly we were chatting on a messenger group, and I said, I'm going to do it, and I'm there literally with a tub of celebrations on my knee thinking,
okay,
something's got to change, because I feel terrible. Something has got to change. And I'm one of these people that I do make impulsive decisions sometimes, and I'll see that this supplement or this kind of way of, with the IBS, you do exclude lots of things from your diet, and if you exclude these things, it's going to give you fantastic results. And I've paid for various of these things over the last goodness knows how many years. They've never worked, and I thought, well, by this point we've got a sort of a lengthy relationship with you and Shelley and Booty Fit, and I thought, if I'm going to give anything a go to make myself better, I'd rather put it back into that and see if this works for me, rather than some random internet company to whom you just a number.
Yeah. Okay. You said a couple of times you were feeling terrible.
Yeah.
You put on a few pounds, but how were you feeling terrible? In what kind of way then?
Just no energy. I mean, sort of, yeah, you do what you have to do. So I've got to look after my kids. I've got bills to pay. I've got to go to work. My kids do lots of dancing and gymnastics outside of school. So I'm going to prioritise making sure they get to that. But every day, sort of around 6 o'clock, I would just sit there and think, I can't move. I literally can't move. So anything happened in the evening, I'm not going to go. You know, life's just starting to reopen after 2 years. And if I'm going to make an effort to see my friends, that might happen once in a blue moon, because actually that's something that you don't have to do. It's something that you need to do for yourself.
Yeah.
But it's not something that as a working mum, you've got to find the time for. So here I'm, you know, I've got no social life. I've got no energy. I'm not running regularly. I'm not doing any of the things that make life good, because I'm having to do all the things. I'm not saying I love the fact that my kids do things out of school, and I will always support that. But there was nothing for me. I just had nothing left.
Everybody I think needs a little something for themselves. Yeah. Okay. And when you're saying fatigued, and again, I'm just being nosy here, is it like brain fatigue, like tired, or is it body aching, or
it was a combination of all of those things? And actually that's one thing I really noticed in the first few days of the program, because one of my go-tos to get through the day would be sugary tea. I'd be drinking a lot of sugary tea because that was a quick energy burst.
Yeah.
And so yeah, with the fibro, I would get a lot of pain in my hands and feet. My legs would ache, my back would ache. I'm a school governor as well. Our meetings were at 6 o'clock, and I remember so many times, you know, I would make, because I've been on Microsoft Teams, you know, I've not had to go out to these meetings the last couple of years. We're just starting to get back to face now. But I would sit there with my laptop, just not really contributing to the meetings, thinking actually that brain fog is so severe that, yeah, I can understand what you're saying, but I can't formulate that sentence. Yeah. I cannot formulate a sentence to contribute to this meeting, because it's just cotton wool up there.
Yeah. Okay.
And one of the first things I noticed, one of the first things I noticed, like during the programming, the detox hit me really, really hard for about 5 days. I felt worse, but you kept with it because everyone else is doing it, and there's a lot of accountability, and everyone's supporting each other. After about 3 or 4 days, I thought, my knuckles don't hurt. It just really hit me that actually my knuckles don't hurt, my feet don't hurt.
Did you just say during the detox, because this is important for people to know what the process was like, you said that you felt worse? What, as in your body felt more achy during the detox, or you probably felt more fatigued, didn't you?
It was the fatigue, the fatigue and the headaches, because as I say, I'd probably been drinking 6 or 8 cups of sugary tea a day, because that was my little pick-me-up all the time.
Yeah. Okay. So were you apprehensive about anything about joining the program?
Yeah, I was really apprehensive because it was a weight loss challenge, or it's marketed as a weight loss challenge. I was a bit concerned that I would not feel really part of it, because that wasn't my main motivation. But I'm not the only one in the group by any stretch of the imagination who has the motivation of having a healthier lifestyle rather than losing weight. There are a lot of people that want to lose weight, they're getting great results. But I was apprehensive.
Okay. And you know what, we obviously always market it as a weight loss challenge, because let's be honest, 90% of females want to lose weight, but it is about health. But if we say do this to feel healthier, most people go, they don't care about their health as much.
We don't prioritize it, do we? Unless you've got a real issue with your health. Like I had a real issue with my health. I think we don't prioritize being healthy, and it's time. There's so many reasons why we don't. But yeah, for me, that was just I needed to feel better.
Okay. What was the process like? Obviously, you did the 21-day challenge. You're now a monthly member, but when you did the 21-day part, what was the process like for you?
Kind of mixed. It was hard. Those first few days were really, really hard. But I say that obviously there were new members in the challenge, and there were monthly members who were doing their second, third, or maybe subsequent challenges. And I think having the experience of the people that have been through it before, thinking this will pass, you're going to feel better, you're going to get great results, that was really helpful. It's 3 weeks, it's not a long time. And I think I decided that if I was going to give it a go, I was going to give it 100%. I was going to stay on plan. I think there was one night where I was away with work, so I tried to make good choices, but the rest of it, I was going to stay on plan. I wasn't going to eat out. I was going to do my daily posting with what I'd eaten and drunk and the exercise that I'd done. and I was going to give it everything I could. For the first week, probably I couldn't do the recommended amount of exercise because the fatigue was just too severe. I think by the end of the 21 days, I was ready to stop with the variation between the low and the high day. But for me, carrying on with that and doing, still keeping myself accountable, still posting, still following Booty Fit recipes, but having sort of mainly high days, that's been good for me going forward.
Yeah, and this is what, just so anyone that's watching, we encourage people to do a strict detox for 21 days, and then thereafter that, obviously you can't keep up with that intensity, so we do that to detox and optimize weight loss and health, and then we kind of loosen the reins and it gets a lot easier from there. Okay, so Jo, talk to me about your biggest wins. What have you got from doing the program?
Just a new lease of life. I don't think that there couldn't be any bigger win than that. I was considering standing down as the school governor because I thought, I just can't do this anymore. These meetings, they're always going to happen at 6 o'clock in the evening, and I can't contribute. I'm so passionate about it. That's something that's really important to me. Starting to do things like making arrangements to go out with friends again and go to the theatre and go to concerts and just actually have freedom. I hadn't realised really, I mean, lockdown contributed obviously, but I hadn't realised how small my life had become. It was taking the kids to school, it was going to work, and it was making sure the kids got to their stuff. For me, there was nothing there. I love reading. I couldn't read in the evenings because I couldn't concentrate on a book. There's just been, not having the level of pain that I had. And my running has just gone from strength to strength. I'm getting out more often, I'm doing longer distances.
You had a real time in the group where you weren't very active in the group, in our slow running group, and I was thinking this morning, your presence in both groups kind of rises, so it obviously goes to show that you're getting results. Okay, so when you say you've got a new lease of life, just to give other people hope and inspiration, because lots more people seem to be struggling with fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue, you're saying IBS as well. What's that new lease of life like? I would imagine the pain hasn't totally gone.
No, it hasn't totally gone, and I have to be careful. And one thing that I'm really having to monitor at the moment is not doing too much. Because it's like I kind of always say, with fibro, you don't have an energy overdraft. You can't go into it, so you mustn't do on the days where you feel good. Don't do too much. Like, I knew I'd been getting my nutrition a bit wrong for my long run day, so I asked for some advice and support in both groups for that, and people were really, really helpful. I think. I'm sorry, I can't remember what the question was now.
No, that's all right. So I was saying your pain hasn't totally gone, but you said new lease of life.
Yeah.
Way, like, how much is your pain reduced by? How much is your energy increased by? Just to kind of give other people a little bit of hope.
Oh, massively. So whereas before I would feel like my body was heavy and painful and sore the whole time, it just isn't now. It just isn't. I mean, I do still get, particularly when the weather's cold, I have to be really, really careful about making sure I warmed up properly and keeping myself warm, because if I get cold, that can really set me back for the rest of the day. I can feel like I just can't get warm and I've got no energy. It can make me really, really poorly. Obviously, as we get to the warmer weather, that's better for me anyway. But one thing that I noticed immediately when I started on the Booty Fit recipes was my digestion was better. Now, I was following something called a low FODMAP diet, which will be very familiar to people who have IBS, but lots of other people might not have heard of it. So there are foods that are high FODMAP and foods that are low FODMAP, and higher FODMAP foods, which include things like onion, garlic, potentially gluten, certain fruits and vegetables, they can really aggravate your IBS. So I've been following the low FODMAP diet for about 3 months before I started with Booty Fit. But unfortunately, you can do that the right way or you can do it the wrong way. And I think I was still including too much processed stuff, too many gluten-free treats and things like that. And I would notice sort of by the evening, I would be really, really bloated and really, really uncomfortable. Like, I could look like, I'm naturally slim, but I could look sort of 4 or 5 months pregnant in the evening because I've put the wrong things, like lots of sugar. Sugar is really, really bad for in terms of inflammatory conditions. Definitely. And I'm putting a lot of sugar into my body to keep, to get that quick release energy. And by the evening, my clothes wouldn't fit. So straight after dinner, I'm going to get into my pajamas because actually I can't wear a pair of jeans in the evening because I'm that uncomfortable. And that was another thing I noticed during the challenge, that I'd ordered some, we don't have an M&S in Grantham, we have like a food store. So I'd ordered some dresses online and went to pick them up in the evening and thought, I can try these on now. Don't have to wait till the morning. And that was another kind of like realizing that my hands and feet didn't hurt. That was another light bulb moment that actually my digestion is so much better that in the evening I look like the person I was when I woke up in the morning. I don't look like the 4 months pregnant version of that person.
God, brilliant. And you know what, obviously bloating is massive, but the fact that you've said that you've got a new lease of life, right? I know you're doing so much more exercise, you're going out with friends, and I get the impression that you feel like you've got some level of your life back.
Yeah.
That's absolutely brilliant. So Jo, thank you for joining me this morning, because obviously on these Zoom calls we always talk about weight loss because that's a big driver for lots of females, but it's really good to see that it's helping someone's health, because with our food plans it isn't anything crazy. Wouldn't you agree? It's just eating proper, natural, fresh, healthy food
Yeah.
and moving your body. It's pretty simple. And I'm going to stop pressing record now and say goodbye, but I'm really, really happy, like I'm over the moon with your results. Okay, but bear with me for one moment.